Did you know that the majority of guns used in Mexican drug cartels come from the United States? A rampant issue that has caused countless deaths and destruction in Mexico. Let's delve into the root causes of this problem, including the loopholes in the US gun laws that enable the smuggling of firearms into Mexico. Want to have a deeper understanding of gun trafficking and its impact on Mexico? Join us as we uncover the truth behind this deadly trade. Mexico is a country that has been plagued by violence for decades. Drug trafficking organizations, DTOs, are known to be behind much of this violence, with their activities having a direct impact on the security and stability of the country. One of the key factors that contribute to the strength and power of these DTOs is the smuggling of arms into Mexico. According to the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, ATF, more than 70% of the weapons seized in Mexico and traced back to the United States. In 2020 alone, more than 11,000 firearms were seized by Mexican authorities, with the majority of them coming from the United States. While it is difficult to estimate the exact number of firearms smuggled, the ATF estimates that approximately 213,000 firearms are smuggled each year. These numbers paint a grim picture of the scale of the problem of arms smuggling into Mexico. The Barrett 50 caliber sniper rifle has become the weapon of choice for many Mexican cartels. This powerful weapon can punch through armored steel plates and hit targets from over a mile away. Cartel gunmen have even used these rifles to take down military helicopters. While these rifles are not commonly sold in the United States, they can still be purchased legally. As the law currently stands, they're not illegal to own in the United States. Mexican cartels rely on corruption and unlicensed dealers to obtain these firearms. There are no background checks required for person-to-person sales of firearms, so unlicensed dealers can buy 10, 15, or 20 rifles without law enforcement knowing about it. Additionally, the requirement for licensed gun dealers to report large purchases to the ATF only applies to border states. Therefore, if someone wanted to purchase 40 rifles, they could drive to a state like Oklahoma, where their reporting obligation does not apply. The ATF has limited visibility on firearms being trafficked across the border. These firearms are often sold for bulk cash, which cartels are trying to move back into Mexico. They spend some of this cash on firearms to smuggle across the border, relying on corruption to get the job done. It's not uncommon to see truckloads of firearms being smuggled across the border at checkpoints. Mexico has paid a high price for America's relaxed gun laws. Since 2006, at least 350,000 people have been murdered or disappeared in Mexico, a vast majority of them due to firearms trafficked from the US. The ease in which firearms can be purchased in the United States has contributed to this tragedy. There are a number of different methods that are used to smuggle weapons across the border, and these methods are constantly evolving in response to changing law enforcement tactics and technology. One of the most common methods of smuggling arms into Mexico is through the use of straw buyers. This involves an individual in the United States purchasing firearms legally and then transferring them to a third party, who then smuggles them into Mexico. The use of straw buyers allows individuals to bypass the strict background checks that are required for purchasing firearms in the United States, making it easier to acquire large numbers of weapons quickly. Another common method is the use of smuggling tunnels. These tunnels are often dug under the border between the United States and Mexico and are used to transport weapons, drugs, and other contraband across the border. Smuggling tunnels can be difficult to detect, as they're often well constructed and equipped with ventilation and lighting. Other methods of smuggling arms into Mexico include the use of private vehicles, boats, and planes, as well as the purchase of firearms from gun shows and online marketplaces. Criminal organizations also use a range of techniques to conceal and transport weapons, including modifying vehicles to create hidden compartments and using false documents to conceal the true nature of their shipments. It's worth noting that the smuggling of arms into Mexico from the United States is often facilitated by lax gun laws in some states, which make it easier for individuals to purchase large quantities of firearms with little oversight. Additionally, the porous nature of the border between the United States and Mexico, combined with the high demand for firearms in Mexico, creates an environment that is conducive to arms smuggling. In recent years, law enforcement officials on both sides of the border have stepped up their efforts to combat the smuggling of arms into Mexico. This has involved increased cooperation and information sharing between agencies, as well as the deployment of new technologies and surveillance techniques to detect and intercept illegal weapon shipments. However, the problem of arms smuggling into Mexico remains significant, and there's still much work to be done to address this issue. The process of trafficking weapons to Mexico is often carried out by corrupt officials, as shown in exclusive footage obtained by Vice News in 2016, where Mexican customs agents allowed cartel traffickers to smuggle weapons into Mexico by abandoning a stolen truck.
We obtained this exclusive footage from 2016 that shows exactly how it's done. At a border checkpoint between Texas and Mexico, a man in a green shirt has parked this white truck. These are Mexican customs agents, but as you can see, they notice something that makes them back off pretty quickly. A red truck appears. The guy in green puts on body armor, and the drivers start unloading guns into the red truck, including what looks like a .50 caliber and other high-powered rifles. Finally, both men jump into the red truck and take off into Mexico, abandoning the white truck, which turned out to be stolen.
This illegal trade has resulted in at least 200,000 weapons being estimated to be trafficked every year into Mexico, causing more than 350,000 people to be murdered or disappear since 2006. Fred Milanowski, who leads the ATF's office in Southeast Texas, a hub for cartel gun smuggling, states that the Barrett .50 caliber rifles are legal to buy in the United States, and these cost from $8,000 to $10,000, making them less accessible to people. But as the law stands, they're not illegal to own in the United States. This allows unlicensed dealers to purchase weapons in bulk and sell them to cartels who rely on corruption to smuggle weapons across the border. The lack of background checks in person-to-person sales has resulted in unlicensed dealers purchasing 10 to 15 rifles without any visibility on law enforcement. Even if an individual brings a bag full of cash into a gun store and buys 40 AK-47s, the store is only obligated to report it to the ATF if it's in one of the 4 border states. This makes it easier for cartels to purchase weapons and smuggle them across the border without any tracking or requirement to identify individuals. In conclusion, the Sinaloa cartel, being one of the most powerful drug trafficking organizations in Mexico, trades in this illegal business. Their access to weapons has resulted in the cartel is responsible for at least 70% of the guns used in crimes in Mexico. As we've seen in this video, the trafficking of guns from the US to Mexico is a complex and devastating issue that requires urgent attention from both countries. The consequences of this illegal trade are felt every day in Mexico, where countless lives have been lost to gun violence. But there is hope. By raising awareness of this issue and working together, we can make progress toward ending the flow of illegal guns and bringing peace to the communities affected by violence. So we urge you to take action and join the conversation. Share this video, support organizations working to combat gun trafficking, and demand that our leaders take action to address this pressing issue. Together, we can make a difference and build a safer future for all. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more content. Also, make sure to hit the notification bell to stay updated on my latest videos. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them down below. I love hearing from my viewers. And as always, stay tuned for more exciting content coming your way.